Hey everyone, we're back and we're not learning languages, we're learning chess openings, the French and the Catalan. And with us, as always, is Mr. Benji.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so today I guess it's going to be a different stream than what we've really done much of in the past.
Hmm.
But I'm eager for student participation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love the sound of my own voice. So feel free to interrupt.
Okay.
Did you flip the board?
I'm starting on black. Or
Yeah.
should I start on white? Okay.
So we're gonna start with the French defense, and I know I already recommended this to you, and you looked at some videos, correct?
Yeah.
The thing about the French is that it has like a lot of different plans and ideas depending on how white plays.
Okay.
So I have an idea for a system I think is going to be really useful, and a system that has plans that are pretty easy to grasp and implement.
Alright.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
I'm gonna play the white pieces and you'll play the black pieces.
Alright.
Okay, very good. So, my first question to you, because I had a bit of a long day with commentary, so I didn't have time to check all your games.
Yeah.
Um, what is the most common reply move people play against you here?
It would. So it'd be then knight to c3, or or maybe knight to f3, or bishop to like f4 or something.
Wow. So it's like really all over the place, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of random. I'm not gonna lie.
So, how many times do you get to capture this pawn for free?
Almost never. Normally it's protected. I'd say most of the time it's. I think the most common one's here.
Okay. So, you sent me a game you were happy with yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And so I noticed the guy you played against there, he played this pawn takes pawn.
Oh yeah, that happens quite a bit as well.
Yeah. And I just want to, tell you we're not afraid of this at all.
Okay.
And frankly, the way you played it yesterday was pretty perfect because you had a winning position after like 8 moves, which is a bit of an achievement. So I think you took back with a pawn. And then basically, what you do here as black, it's the same strat we've been talking about, right? First, develop the pieces on the left side of your king.
Yeah.
So you get your knight out, and I feel like the guy you played against played this knight, which we know isn't really the best strategy.
Yeah.
Um, and then, I mean, I think in your game you got the bishop here somehow.
Yeah, I think so.
But I just moving the bishop one out is also fine. Just getting the king castled early, um, and then the idea of this what is called the exchange French, because you do the early exchange in the middle,
Yeah.
is that whomever gets the rook into the center first is doing pretty well because that's an open file pointing down
Okay.
towards the opponent's king.
Yeah.
And well, you did this in your game. You got a really good position because you were so quick to bring your rook into the game.
Yeah. That was from. I remember you doing it against me. I think at
Oh,
one point.
really? That's good.
That's why I did it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not really afraid of this move. Just capture back and get the pieces out, whichever
Should
way
I,
you choose.
so should I not be playing c the c pawn to c5
No, in this
in this?
position, you should not be doing that.
Okay.
But thank you for asking the question.
Yeah.
So, in this situation, when your pawn is standing alone in the middle,
Yeah.
it's rarely a good idea to move the pawn too forward because after the capture, it means that your pawn is permanently lonely.
Yeah, that's true.
So it can never be supported by a buddy.
Alright.
Which means this is what we call an isolated pawn. And those pawns always have to be defended by your pieces. So now your knight is reduced to being a defensive piece because it always has to stand where it is to defend rather than doing something more aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds.
Which kind of naturally brings us, when we're going back to this initial position, it brings us to this pawn move forward.
Oh yeah, I don't like playing against this.
Yes, but now we're going to teach you how to play against it, and then you're going to hope the opponent plays this every single time.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like it because I can't bring my knight there.
Yeah, so that's clearly a problem with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this variation, what happens is that we target the pawn on d4.
Okay.
Very important to remember. So you remember how we told the story of the lonely pawn you had earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this guy can no longer have support from his neighbor because his neighbor already rushed up the board.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to attack this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that first by playing this c5 move.
Okay.
And notice the difference compared to the previous time. If this one is captured, you get your bishop out, and your pawn in the middle is defended by the other pawn, which is defended by the other pawn.
Good position.
Yeah. Everything is well defended. No pawns are lonely.
Yeah.
So instead, the normal way of playing with white is c3.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just giving support to the other guy.
Yeah.
And now pay close attention, because this is going to be one of very few times you're allowed to do this.
Okay.
In this situation, you get your queen out as the first piece.
Okay.
And the reason is you want to increase your threats on this c and d4 pawn.
Okay.
If white captures your pawn, what do you play?
Bishop takes.
Yeah, you can execute the moves.
Yeah.
And now you have two pieces working together, already making threats against white's position.
Mm. Okay.
So instead, white is going to strive to keep the pawn here. So white is going to go knight to f3.
Yeah.
And then you're going to increase the pressure here by going knight to c6.
Okay.
And defending this guy is going to be difficult for white, because if white tries to support it further with the bishop, what happens?
You could play here.
Yes. Very good. So, white doesn't have that option. One trick, it's very important you know, is that if the bishop comes to d3, do not get tempted to take this guy in the middle.
I've seen this on TikTok actually. I've seen it on TikTok. I forgot. He gets
Fucking Sumer.
Bro, he gets.
Did this just happen?
I've seen it on TikTok.
I've seen it on TikTok?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I saw it. It's good though. I mean, I know. I knew about this before. I forgot he does it, but he takes my queen somehow.
I'm sorry. My sense of reality just shifted. I'm gonna need a couple of seconds to recover from this. You learned an opening trap in the French defense on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. Should I be on TikTok?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
and you know the guys brought having chess content. They're well respected and followed.
I mean, yeah, they have quite a few followers, but yeah, I don't know about well respected. I mean, I don't know about, I don't know, but I mean, I saw it, so.
Is this some chess account you follow on TikTok? Are there chess accounts on TikTok? I have so many questions.
There's a lot of chess. I'm on like the chess TikTok. Like I see so many chess posts now on TikTok.
Oh, because the algorithms picked up on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay. So let's finish the trap, I guess.
Yeah.
So if the pawn captures, you do not get tempted by this guy.
Okay.
Because then white will capture back. You will take with your queen. And as you have learned from your TikTok, there is a check to the king while simultaneously opening an attack on the queen.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do instead?
Not take.
Yes. Very good.
Maybe develop my pieces. Like I don't know.
Okay. So what you're going to do? Yeah. No. This bishop does not belong here. There's a good thing you mentioned it, because sometimes I don't know what kind of weird thoughts enter your head that I gotta just knock out of it.
Okay.
This square is not for your bishop.
But I thought I mean, when I played on the last one, when you play here and you play here.
Yes, but notice how on the last one you actually got to move your knight up.
Yeah.
Because that's no longer possible. That pawn is limiting your knight's option.
So you want to like leave this square for your knight?
Yes. Well, sometimes. It depends.
Okay.
It depends, but I definitely don't want to move my bishop first. Because that also applies to the thing we talked about, right?
Yeah.
That normally you do knights before bishops.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do here is moving the bishop to d7.
Okay. How come?
Because now if you if white say, I don't know, castles.
I can castle as well.
Sorry, I'm just increasing your volume a little bit.
Okay.
No, so the idea is that now you're threatening in the middle.
What, with that bishop?
Yeah, kinda.
How
Because
come?
if white now castles,
Then
you can
I-
capture,
Okay.
capture, 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 capture.
Okay. But then how does why does the bishop moving?
That was going to
Make
be my question to you.
I mean, you could play. Oh, I can't move. You could play bishop to b5 maybe. Oh no, you can't. Never
It's
mind.
white's move. Black just captured a pawn.
I mean, I could castle.
Oh, sorry, do you not have the same board as me in front of you?
Okay. So what you say? Like, what's white gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so I don't get the trap. It's so I don't get trapped.
Yes. Very good.
Okay. I understand.
So by moving the bishop out, you prevented that check to the black king.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to show you another idea as well. If white instead, where after we moved the queen and knight to help pressure against this central pawn, if white goes with the bishop one square, I want you to make the move knight h6.
Okay.
And this is a bit of a weird move.
Yeah.
Because normally you don't like moving your knight to the edge, and especially not when the opponent has the option of capturing said knight.
Yeah.
But, number one, if this knight is captured, taking back with a pawn is not the end of the world. Because you still got that really good pressure against the middle.
Yeah.
So this is not the end of the world. But also, there's an idea in this opening that sometimes you can capture this guy and just say, well, yes, you took a knight, but I'm going to take a rook.
Okay. But can't you capture the bishop first and then do that?
Well, sometimes your opponent prevents your plans.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you could get both, that would be good. But honestly, the biggest chance of you getting both is if you first attack the rook and your opponent panics and it tries to get his queen, right?
Then you take
To
bishop.
protect. Yeah, and then you take the bishop.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that because then you can't take the rook because of the queen.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that is no. There's one more thing I want you to know. So if white doesn't capture this one, and instead goes to castle, I want you to capture this one in the middle.
Yeah.
But this is a special circumstance. I never want you to capture this one unless you're ready to attack after.
Okay.
So the thing about capturing this one is that it opens up the square on c3 for white's knight.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of helping white getting in the pieces into play by making that exchange. The reason I'm saying it's okay to do now is because you have this guy on the edge about to go into the middle, and there's 1, 2, 3 black pieces against the pawn in the middle, and white is unable to defend.
Yeah. Okay.
So why didn't I capture, instead of moving this knight, why didn't I capture first? Well, that's because if you then do this plan, you allow white to get this knight forward, and then this knight manages to kick away black's queen. And when the queen is no longer there, you will no longer be able to capture the pawn in the middle.
Okay. Wait, can't you play here
Yeah?
and then and
No.
then check? Take? Oh, there's a queen. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Okay. Understood.
Buddha, he destroyed a guy in the exchange French in 8 moves yesterday. Sorry, I had to talk back to some people in chat who are being disrespectful of your chess skills. I'm telling them that you don't need to practice the exchange variation because you already killed a guy in 8 moves yesterday.
That is true. I'm pretty good at it, I think.
Yeah, so, well, of course, we're gonna review this, but this is the basic plan and ideas I want you to know in this advanced variation.
Yeah.
So basically, when the pawn moves forward, no, not that one. When the pawn moves forward, we go c5, and we basically put every single piece we can possibly find to attack this d4 square.
Yeah. And if he takes, I just take my bishop and I get it out with tempo.
Yes. So you're kind of happy with that.
Yeah.
No, CJ. I'm giving attention to Benji this week.
Let's say he does that. Where do I move my knight? Do I just go here?
Yeah. Well, first you take back with the bishop. And then, since you got your bishop out, you no longer need to be concerned about the knight blocking in your bishop.
Okay.
And then also you're probably going to play this knight move, because then you can attack in the middle.
Yeah. All right.
And notice how, we get this pawn involved before moving the knight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really concerned about this.
Mm-hmm.
This was my favorite opening to play as a kid. I just put everything I had towards the d4 pawn, and it worked like a charm.
Yeah. Seems pretty good.
So instead, our main focus will be moving the knight forward.
Yeah.
And here, the system we're going to focus on is capturing immediately in the middle.
Okay.
Now, this is a bit of a controversial capture. But I think the plans associated with it will suit you very well.
All right.
So the knight captures back. And now you move your knight in front of your queen.
Okay.
It's a weird move.
Yeah.
The idea is to support the f6 square and the c5 square at the same time.
Oh, so then you can move your pawn c5?
Yes. We will move the pawn to c5. And what do you think is the importance of the f6 square?
So I don't know. I mean, so he can't play his bishop here, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so the importance of the f6 square is maybe best explained if I move my knight out first.
Okay.
Because if the knight comes out,
yeah,
then white will take this one. And now black faces a choice between getting these doubled pawns, which is not great, or getting the queen out early. And getting the queen out early is not an advantage. In this position, white will get a really good game by playing the knight out. And then if you just continue as if nothing has happened, if you try to get your bishop out, then white will get their bishop out, attack your queen. And when you move the queen, white will get the other bishop out, once again attacking your queen. And, well, you get the idea. You're moving your queen around a lot.
That's rough, yeah.
While the opponent is getting all their pieces into dangerous positions.
Yep.
So, that's the reason why we don't move the knight out immediately.
Yeah.
But, after playing this knight d7 move, now we have the support we need. Because if white moves the knight out, then you can move knight f6.
Okay.
So you challenge the knight in the center. It needs to either move or be defended or capture black's knight. And if they capture, then now you capture back with your knight.
Yeah.
And you're fine-ish.
and then you'd play the pawn.
Yes. Yes, very good.
Okay.
Which is going to be our key plan in almost every situation.
Yeah.
So, like, if white goes out with the bishop, what do you do?
Play the pawn out.
Yes. And if... And, well, this is kind of advanced. I don't think your opponents are going to do this. But to illustrate to you what the main move here is, the main move for white is moving the bishop out,
Okay.
which gives indirect protection of the c5 square.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that this is the considered the best way to play for white gives you an idea of how much white doesn't want you to play this move.
Yeah.
And even here in your games, you know, you're going to be fine. I mean, you can just get your bishop out and castle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then you just, if he plays that, you just ignore that, playing that.
Yeah, I mean, if he manages to stop you, good for him. But,
Okay.
like, at the top level, probably just getting your pieces out would not be feasible. But for your level, just getting your bishop out and then getting castled, and then maybe trying to get this guy into play.
Yeah, I always find it kind of hard to get him.
Yeah. Can you see an idea for black in this position on how to get this bishop involved?
I mean, you could fianchetto it.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's normally what I think to do.
Yeah, that's good.
But I feel like sometimes I do it too early and I do it before I cast.
Yes, do not do it before you castle.
Yeah.
That is a big no-no.
Okay.
Get your king to safety first. Because if you, for instance, in this position, play the pawn up, and then maybe if your opponent is being aggressive, and then you do your fianchetto, then there are going to be big threats with the bishop coming in against your king.
Yeah.
So by moving the pawn up, one of the options you lose is that you lose the ability to meet this bishop check by just blocking, if you so choose.
Yeah.
Because once you move this guy, you no longer have that option. And that's why it makes sense to castle before you start trying to do the fianchettos.
No.
Let's do this.
That is quite a lot to remember.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot. I think let's just skip the Catalan altogether. Let's just focus on this French.
Okay.
Yeah, so after this knight d7 move, essentially what's going to happen is no matter what white plays, you're going to get your knight involved next.
Okay.
Because you're going to be very interested to know what your opponent chooses to do about this guy.
Yeah.
And you want to give him that decision. Either if he blunders the knight, or if he moves it back, or if he defends it. I was going to say there might be different plans depending on what your opponent does. But the reality is there isn't a different plan.
Yeah. I mean, if he plays it back, then you can just play here, right? It's only if he... Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're pretty much going to play this no matter what white does.
Yeah, okay.
So if white retreats the knight, you're going to go c5.
Yeah.
If white moves the knight forward, you're still going to play c5.
Hmm.
If the guy exchanges, then you're going to take back. But then next after that, you're going to go c5.
Yeah. What if he plays forward? Like, wait, maybe go back. What if he plays like, or maybe what if he takes and then I take? Wait, I'll just do it. Boom, and then boom, and then I play here. Oh wait, twice. What if he plays there? Then do I still play that or no?
No. This is
Okay.
the move we examined,
Yeah, yeah.
where white manages to put pressure on that
Okay.
c5 square.
Alright.
So this is one of those instances where moving the pawn forward will just result in it being captured.
Yeah.
And then you cannot capture it back because the bishop has protection. But yeah, white's bishop doesn't really want to be here normally.
Hmm.
So like if white prevents your main plan, you can switch to your other plan, which is basically just, getting the pieces out and then having a nice position.
Okay.
And I think let's get the whole fianchetto on the board. Because it's nice to see really how effective this bishop is. It went from being like your worst piece, where it was looking at your own pawn, and just by making 2 moves, you've managed to make this bishop one of the best pieces on the board. Actually,
Hmm.
not even one of it's the best.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I think it would be nice if you played. Okay, let me make a move. It would be nice if you played rook c8.
Okay. How come?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how come.
I guess you could probably push your C pawn then.
Yes. So basically, you never abandon this plan of playing c5.
Just delay it.
Sometimes your opponent might do stuff to prevent it, but you're still in a position to make preparatory moves.
Yeah.
And let's say the pawn moves forward, and you can go. And you got the bishop and the rook,
Yeah.
making sure that your pawn is well protected.
Hmm. Right here, would you take? Or
No,
like
I think right here I would move my queen up. It's kind of annoying that I cannot do more than one move at a time. I would move my queen up and then get my rook in the middle.
Okay.
Because then I have really nice rooks pointing down.
Yeah. And would this be like
So this would be like your dream situation.
yeah.
And in this opening, in particular, this is pretty much the setup you're often going for.
Mhm.
So this is a very common square for the queen. This is a very common square for the bishop. And this is a really common square for the rook.
Yeah.
The only thing that's kind of weird here is this guy. But, that was a move you made to be able to go c5.
Mhm.
And you're happy to keep the tension here.
Alright.
Because if you capture in the middle, he gets his knight into the middle. Whereas if white captures here, then you get your bishop in a better position.
Yeah.
So it's like the person who's the most impatient and cannot wait to trade is also the person allowing the opponent to get their pieces in better positions.
Okay. The thing is, what after this? Let's say I get to this position, what would I even start to do?
That's beyond this lesson.
Okay.
I think if you manage to get a position similar to this, you're going to win so many games initially. Yeah. And then you're going to be at a level where we have to talk about strategy. But we're not really there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're talking about, having an opening strategy and like the most common plans, and we're still really focused on just exploiting opportunities as they arise
Mm-hmm.
with the puzzles.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. So if white moves the bishop out, what are you gonna play?
Um, think here.
Yes. Very good. So c5 has not been prevented, and you're just gonna follow through with it.
Yeah.
If white castles,
Okay.
what are you gonna do?
Um,
Actually, this I'm gonna tell you. So whenever you haven't castled yourself, or whenever you're not in a position to castle immediately, I want you to capture this guy.
okay.
Just don't think about holding the tension. Just get it done.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because if you move your bishop out, then white has the option of capturing your pawn. And then this is actually a theme we discussed from the Queen's Gambit, where you have to move your bishop for a second time in a row
Yeah.
to recapture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a loss of time you don't really want to expose yourself to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So instead, in these situations when you're still quite far off from getting castled, I want you to take in the middle immediately.
Okay. But then won't he have two of his knights like in the center? Isn't
Yes.
that like bad?
It's these knights are pretty good.
Yeah.
But you have some advantages. Number one, you have an extra pawn in the middle, which also helps defend your king. And you have some ideas of trying to make threats up against his pieces.
Okay.
But yeah, no, be aware that this knight can create some danger, so you have to be aware. But what are you going to do in this situation?
Probably just bishop here.
Yes, good move, good move. Yes, you're just going to focus on getting the king to safety ASAP.
Yep.
No shenanigans. Just get that king to safety.
Mm-hmm.
If white now captures your knight, which
Then
piece will you capture back with?
the knight.
Yes, very good.
And you've also got this. Oh, that.
Yeah, opening up for the queen, and also sometimes you need it for protection around your king. Let me now say that white goes with a rook into the middle.
Castle.
Okay.
Oh. Oh wait, I should have took.
Do you want to go back?
Yeah. How can I go back?
Left arrow.
Left arrow. There you
And what is your plan against the move bishop?
go. Probably. Oh, there's that.
So you're going to find this to be quite a common theme in the French.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to avoid that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got it right the first time. Castles.
Yeah, but that was by accident. You didn't even notice there was a knight hanging.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So you didn't really pass that test. But yeah, castles is good. And if white tries to do a fianchetto, And if white tries to give a check,
Oh wait, my queen's hanging. That's not good. Wait, that happens so much.
yeah. So in the French, you have to be very aware of this.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
So yeah, the knight is sometimes safe where it stands, even though, uh, even though it's unprotected.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what would your plan be instead?
Um. Maybe. It's a good question.
Yeah, no, it's honestly a good question. I feel like black went wrong somewhere. Okay, we're just gonna say this is good enough for you. Okay, so the plan I want you to use is pawn to a6.
Okay.
And the reason for this is that it controls the b5 square.
Yeah.
And then when white gets the bishop out, you're going to move your queen to c7. Remember how we discussed this was a common place for the
Yeah.
queen to be placed?
Yeah.
And then after this, you're going to move your rook into the middle. So we're noticing a pattern, right? The bishop goes here, the rook goes here, the queen goes here.
Hmm.
This is the same stuff we did in the earlier variation.
Yeah.
And then the reason we moved this guy on the side is because we don't want the white knight to harass the queen.
Hmm. Okay.
And then after this, it would be very nice if you could move this guy up,
And then you can move
because
your
then you
bishop.
want your bishop.
Yeah.
The only problem here is that the queen is kind of pointing in that general direction.
Oh yeah.
So this may be a special circumstance where you just have to. Yeah. Honestly, black has a terrible position here, but I don't think people at your level is going to punish you for this. I think if you just execute your plans, you're going to be Gucci.
Okay.
But at my level, it's not great. So I'm trying to think about what is it Georg does, because he's such a beast at this stuff. So Georg Mayer, he is the hero of this opening. Sometimes when I want to learn a new opening, I check out a guy who's really good at that opening already,
Yeah.
and I just copy his strats.
Yeah. It's kind of like other games as well. I feel like if you just copy what like the best in like the world do, like you can improve a lot. Or like it helps you out a lot, especially if they just do the same thing every time.
Yeah. Okay, but I think I managed to convey my main points.
Yeah.
That of where I want you to place your pieces, right?
Hmm.
So getting the bishop out, getting the king to safety as soon as possible, and if possible, moving your queen and getting your rook to the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. No, the thing is, here's my thing. I don't really know how people your level are gonna deal with this opening.
They'll probably do something weird.
They're definitely gonna do something weird. I just don't know what that weird thing is yet.
Yeah.
But for the moment, I think we're fine to say that these general guidelines are is your strat.
Mhm.
So we're gonna you're gonna play with the black pieces, and I'm gonna play with the white pieces, and we'll test play this a little bit.
Okay. Sure.
And then it's important that you get some games as black in the French over the weekend,
All right. Yes.
so that we can kind of study your opponent's strategies. And next time, I'm gonna actually make sure I have time to check some of your games.
Okay. That's fine.
Benji just broke 900 per year. How many
I
games in a row?
no, I haven't. So I've won something like 5 in a row or something, and I've drew like 3 or something. But I haven't lost in like games.
Haven't lost in 8 games. So even though his rating says 900, it's just a matter of time before all his training pays off big time. Yeah, so we'll go back to the beginning, and you'll just make the black moves, and I'll do the white moves, and we stop at like move 10.
Okay. Mm, Wait, I need to think.
Yeah. So this is one of those few instances where moving your queen out early is acceptable.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Uh, Here?
Yeah, so that was the right plan when the bishop was one step further back.
Okay.
But frankly, I mean, if you do this, it's not like it's going to be a big mistake. It's a very decent move. It's just that in this position, you can be more punishing to white.
Um.
Bowden, thank you so much for the sub. How are you doing today?
uh, Oh wait, no, no, man. I'm not sure. Sure. Thinking like here.
What
Oh
was
wait, no,
your
I know that.
last move?
My last move. It was stop the bishop. The bishop counter attack. I could take maybe.
Yeah, so in this variation, it's all about trying to take this pawn on d4. And so the question is, can you do it unpunished? The reason you played the move bishop d7,
Just to stop the counter attack.
yeah.
Oh, so I can.
What counterattack?
Um, bishop b5. Because play here, takes, and then takes, and then he could play here if bishop wasn't there.
Yeah. So what are you
Okay.
going to do now then?
gonna take.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Okay.
safely do that because there's none of those nasty discovered checks I made you fall for a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not going to be a long-term home for your queen.
Mm.
It's going to have to get back pretty quickly after. Yeah, so good. Um, I think we'll just do another one from the beginning.
Okay. Mm.
We didn't discuss this one, did we?
Yeah.
And now you just went with the openings you already learned?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my bad for not mentioning this, but one of the key points of capturing in the middle is that we can play the same opening no matter if white goes for the knight in front of the bishop or up,
Yeah.
because capturing is going to lead to the same thing.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons it's so flexible and straightforward.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this again.
Um.
This is the key move.
I think it's this.
Yes, well done. Yes, c5, very good. First the knight out, then c5. I'm gonna try to decide how tricky I'm gonna be. Let's just do this one. Yeah, this is the French opening, Val Mishra. But we're teaching Benji a new way of playing the French, which I think is more it basically is about the same plans all the time. Yeah, very good, right? So why did you take this one?
So then I can focus on castle.
Yeah. And why did you not go with your bishop out?
Because then he would just take, and then it would make me have to move my bishop twice.
Yes, very good. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Bishop out, castle. And we'll see if this works out for you. If you keep getting crushed in this position, maybe I either have to learn this opening, because I mean, there's guys playing this at the highest level. Right now, when I'm looking at it from the black side, I feel like it looks kind of uncomfortable. But on the other hand, when I look at it from the white side, it looks so solid for black.
Okay.
But I think for your purposes, this is excellent.
Okay.
Because you got your king to safety. You're going to have this plan of moving your queen out next. And if you're allowed, you move the fianchetto.
Yeah.
And, you know, if white just does no progress, then you're going to have like this guy pointing down there. And then the queen is going to point down there as well. You're going to have a great position.
Yeah.
You're going to have connection between the rooks. You're going to have an extra pawn in the center. It's basically following all the opening principles.
Mm-hmm. it looks kind of weird having everything on the same line.
Yeah, that's fair. But on the other hand, it's about where they're pointing, not where they're standing.
Yeah.
So especially with the bishops, they can be on the side of the board and still have so much influence in towards the middle.
Hmm.
Whereas knights, they kind of need to be in the middle to have influence.
Okay.
They have to be where the action is.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think everything is protected, so it shouldn't be a problem that
Yeah.
they're on the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess let's do another one from the start.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm white. Sorry.
Oh wait. Never mind. Never mind. Can I take it back?
Yeah.
Back. Uh, uh,
So you got your king to safety. What is the next step?
I mean, I was gonna. The thing is, I want to get my queen to here, but I can't play here because of the bishop.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe Fee and Chet.
Yeah. So what are
Yeah,
you gonna choose?
I'd use the Fee and Chet too.
Yeah, good
And then,
job.
and then it also supports the pawn here.
Yeah. So remember earlier we did the fianchetto and then we used the rook to support.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it.
Mhm. And then
Uh,
when you move that pawn up with the rook, would you still move your queen there?
yeah.
Okay.
But it all depends, right? So in this situation, for instance, if your opponent puts the rook on the same file as your queen, that's a big
Uh,
red flag.
yeah.
So
So then you
if
kind of
now you were to move forward,
oh yeah, then
they would
take.
yeah,
Yeah. Can't take it back.
capture and threaten your queen.
Hmm.
So in that circumstance, you would maybe want to move your knight into the middle, or my preference, I would probably just move the queen out of the way and then do this after.
Okay.
But then, then you don't get to do your standard plan.
Yeah.
But standard plans are just guidelines. It's not like you must put your queen there and there.
Hmm.
It's just a way for you to know what's normal, but you must always judge each position on their individual merits.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start over again.
Okay.
Hey Hood Fresh, how are you doing? Hood Fresh is my duo partner, but he abandoned me for other games.
Oh, what on Fortnite?
Yeah.
Uh,
Can you say some inspiring words to get him back?
um,
He's a big fan of driving games. So something like driving games suck. would be. But I don't know
Yeah.
if you have to, maybe you cannot say that publicly. I would understand that because you got a lot of fans. You wouldn't want to alienate the weird driving game people.
I mean, I am personally not a fan of driving games. I feel like it's just boring compared to Fortnite. I feel like there's a lot more action and stuff in Fortnite, and there's a lot more stuff to do.
Perfect.
What? Yeah.
If that doesn't convince him to come back, I don't know what will. I'm gonna go back once. I feel like this is something your guys are gonna do. Yes, good decision. Take with the bishop because the bishop was undefended, and now you're ready to castle.
Yeah.
So you've castled. What is the next step?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like that. Try another move.
Okay. Um. Maybe.
Yes, I love this move. So the queen, I don't really know where the queen is going to have its best placement. Whenever, if it's possible, like as long as there's not like a queen coming in here and causing all sorts of damage, or as long as there's not like a knight coming into the c6 square, if there's nothing disastrous happening right away, you want to get this bishop into position as soon as possible.
Okay, so before my queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because those bishops, they're just going to shred this guy, and then this guy, and then later on, you're going to get the queen as well.
Yeah.
Everything is pointed towards his king.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good. So you completed your development, and most importantly, you fixed the problem piece. This is kind of like the big problem in this one. Because it's being blocked by both the knight and the pawn.
Yeah.
And it's also blocked on this other one. And yet, magically, when you just got this fianchetto move, that bishop went from nothing to everything in a matter of moments.
If he ends up, like, somehow pressuring this bishop, should I just move it back?
Yeah, where are you going to move it?
Okay,
let's pretend white goes aggressive.
Okay. Probably here.
Yeah, very good. So, in theory, maybe you want to have it here, but we're going to focus on having you defend your pieces. And by going all the way back, everything is defended.
Mm-hmm.
And to illustrate that point, if you were to go one step further, in this specific situation, there's a way for white to get an advantage.
What is that?
I thought you were maybe going to do it like a hanging pieces puzzle.
Okay.
Maybe you want to flip the board.
Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Okay, let's see this. I was thinking like here.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because this is like pinned, or the I can't really move.
Yeah, it opens an attack.
Yeah.
So you got the right idea, but the problem with just moving the bishop somewhere is that the opponent is just going to defend the piece that was attacked. So you need to do something more forcing. We talked about this, how you limit the amount of choices the opponent has.
Okay.
What are the best forcing moves?
Yeah.
Yes. And what is the trade you're executing now?
You're getting a bishop. I'm getting a bishop and a pawn.
Yes. So it's not like, when you're solving puzzles, it's like you always end up with an extra piece or queen or whatnot.
Yeah.
So this one is just about winning a pawn.
Hmm.
But sometimes a pawn can be important as well. They can become a new queen.
Very true.
And I thought this fit well into the theme we had about the discovered attacks on your queen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip back to the black side.
Yeah.
I think let's do one more run through, and then I think we're gonna say that you are a certified player of the French Mayer style variation.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Mm,
So this is fine, and I don't want to discourage this, but I do want to mention that in this special circumstance,
you can play here.
yeah, you had two pieces.
Yeah. Okay.
So you actually supported it. The reason you normally haven't been able to support it is because I was doing this trade.
Yeah.
When your knight is being lured away from protecting that important square.
Okay.
But after the retreat, what you did is excellent, but also pushing is excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fine. And also doing the fianchetto is fine.
Yeah. If he okay, never mind.
What was the question you were gonna ask?
I was gonna say if he doesn't take what I do, but then I just remember I just
Yeah.
okay.
And then at the end of the day, in this variation, now we've done two bad variations for white in a row, but I feel like maybe someone can do this, move their knight back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not very scary. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on black's position, and you get to play both your favorite move, c5, and you get your bishop into a good position.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is gonna be a success. I feel.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing you trying it out in the wild.
Yeah. I feel like it might be just a bit different in 900 rating games, but we'll
Well,
have to see.
that's how it is.
Got the
Um,
prince.
but I think the talk we had now definitely will put you on the right track, even when the opponent plays moves you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck in DreamHack,
Thank you.
and I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'll see you in a bit.